We're not going to change ourselves until you can be real with yourself. That's what we're talking about today. Owning our story, owning our life. This is so not an easy thing to talk about, discuss, reflect on. We've already talked about things like being afraid, having a lot of self-doubt. There's also things of being a people pleaser. Do you always put other people's needs in front of your own? Sometimes it's just easier that way. It's easier than having to figure out our own reflective happiness, our own shit that we're dealing with. Some people don't want to be reflective. Have you had those hard relationships in your life? I'm sure you have. I think everybody I know has. Where if you own yours, then you hold other people accountable for theirs. Some people don't like that. Makes relationships messy. Now, hey, I get people go through seasons. People have hard seasons they don't want to deal with, seasons that we have to go to therapy for, struggle through, fight through. Not talking about those seasons. Being able to be vulnerable about owning your story, owning who you are, owning who you want to be, there's no shame in that. Actually, there's beauty in that. I always say when Maddie was sick or when we were going through hard things that it was a super hard valley. Valleys aren't easy, but we learn a little bit about ourselves if we really look at it, take the opportunity to learn something new about ourselves, to discover something. I don't know about you, but something came out in me during our harder seasons that made me feel good. Not in the season. I'm not saying the season of the valley makes me feel good. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you can be proud of yourself for going through hard seasons, for dealing with hard relationships. It's where you are right now. But you have to be reflective enough to own who you are. What makes you happy? Who makes you you? A few years ago, I really had to I chose to start really figuring out who I was, what I brought to the table. And I don't know about you, being a people pleaser, I know I was recovering. Do you always put other people's needs in front of your own? I did. I wanted to make sure my husband and my kids' needs, physical, spiritual, emotional, were all being met while totally neglecting mine. Until I had to have the hard, reflective talk with myself about owning where I am, owning who I am. I know I'll go into detail about this more. It was hard owning when I started homeschooling our children. It wasn't easy. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was mine to own. There's been different situations, even in my marriage and in my own personal relationship with myself. It's been hard owning who I am, who I want to be, who I was. I just want to take this moment and this week to be encouraging to you. Let's start owning who we are. I'm proud of you. Your story means something to people. It teaches other people. Our valleys, we didn't walk through them for nothing. So let's say no, like I said, to self-doubt and fear. Let's talk about owning who we are. I can't wait to unpack this more with you. Like I said, I got some great stories that I hope you can relate to, heal from, laugh with. But thanks again for watching and tuning in. And I hope to see you next week, probably on part 2 of Owning It. Talk to you soon. Thanks.